Hello viewers, subscribers, new channel finders. If you watched the first video posted here on TECHNOBABBLE, you would know that I was having some GameCube controller issues. And since I was actually unsure of if I could repair the controller or not, I purchased this set of two incredibly cheap controllers just in case. So let's check them out. We'll start with the Amazon listing itself after we get a good view of the box here. See what it says. The link for these will wind up in the description below, even though it's not an affiliate link. Just looking out in case you are in the market for a budget replacement GameCube controller. So yeah, we'll peruse the Amazon listing here. Two controllers for $17, $18 really. We'll look at some reviews and some of the things they say here. It's funny that the controllers they show on the site don't have. It's got a fairly good mix of reviews. Ones up top are all, I mean, they mostly all say the same thing. They're decent controllers for the money that you pay for them, really. A couple of the reviews say that one will work and one hasn't, one doesn't. I haven't tested both of mine to know for sure, but even then, one GameCube controller for $18 is a deal anymore. So yep, that's pretty much got the reviews covered. Make of those what you will on your own. So back to the unboxing. Comes with a little booklet, not much there, and two controllers wrapped in bubble wrap. So pretty unsubstantial packaging, but I suppose it's done well enough to get the controllers here and not be broken. Upon first handling the controller, it felt slightly smaller than the original GameCube controller that I still own, which the Frankentroller, like Frankenstein, did survive its operation, so it gets to continue on playing games. Maybe check out that video in the card here if you've not seen it yet. Anyway, this Siphon controller feels fairly cheap and kind of flimsy, quite light as far as the weight goes. I do not have a scale to get an accurate comparison for weight to demonstrate, so maybe that's something in the future. This is what I call the Frankenstein controller, the Frankentroller. The Siphon's quite a bit lighter. It seems like it is definitely a little bit smaller. Get a feel for the buttons. This controller is very old, so the face buttons are quite mushy. The sticks are wore out because when I was testing this next to the Siphon controller, it was, well, I hadn't replaced the joystick yet. So we'll take a look inside of here. Really the biggest difference between the two was that the Siphon controller does not have a little spring like the original GameCube controller does for the Z button. Taking the controller apart is simple enough, just a few Phillips head screws on the back and it pops right open. And like I said, it looks fairly well like a standard GameCube controller, except for that spring missing on the Z button. It does feel like it kind of wants to fly apart once you've got it open. Like the rumble motor felt like it just wanted to fly out, and it feels cheap. So putting the controller back together, I struggled a bit because there's no spring on the Z button, it was hard to piece it back together. And on the actual GameCube controller, the cable part has like a sort of like a socket, I guess, carved out for it to where it wants to lay into the controller and stay there. And this just kind of wants to go wherever it wants to. So it was a little difficult to get it back together there. The Z button is very clicky, and the triggers feel about the same. I never personally cared for the like analog feel. Yeah, we'll test it out and see how it does playing some games. Played a little bit of the Wind Waker, and it works. It again is a little bit smaller than a normal GameCube controller, so it's not the most ergonomic for me. But it seems like every button on the controller does work. I also accessed the game's menus and stuff and ran around a little bit just to get a feel for it. Now, this isn't any kind of long-term durability test or anything, so I don't know how well the controller will hold up over time. But from there, I'll leave it to you. Stick with TECHNOBABBLE for more controller repairs, reviews, unboxings, etc. Hope to catch you in the next one.